Hello everyone, Michelle Francesca here. Thank you for joining me today as we look at some intuitive and prophetic insights for the beginning of 2022, leading us up through till the spring season. One of the themes continues to resound, connecting with the truth of who we are. Many people have been experiencing a wilderness, a no man's land, not in the old, not quite in the new, somewhere in between, maybe in one or two areas of your life or every area of your life. And I think one of the perspectives that would be encouraging for us is to see this as a gift, a sorting out time, to ask this very important question: what truly matters to me now? Knowing our psychology, understanding our own complexity, our nervous system, our biology, really getting to grips with our basic needs. We're no longer applying a one-size-fits-all obligation or expectation on ourselves, like a poorly fitting slip cover on a sofa, in a color and a fabric we don't even like. We are recognizing our interconnectedness with all things, perhaps more than ever before, but at the same time, there's this pull towards honoring our individuality, and it's very important. If you're watching this, you may be an empathic kind of soul, empathetic, and you may also know that the tendency, the flip side of that can be one can become a chameleon, lose oneself in the world around or the people around us. Especially if you've got a savior complex going on or an overlay of programming, it can be challenging to differentiate who we are as an individuated being. But this is one of the most important works of this time, is honoring our own individual humanity. Also, this is highlighting to us the inherent unique gifts that we are bringing to the planet at this crucial time. Another major work of this time is coming out of the collective shadow, the programming, the shoulds, the musts, the have-tos, that this is how it always is, conditioning that we have knowingly or unknowingly become enmeshed in, this sort of dark ages control structure. Simply by reason of evolution, or acknowledging the failure of these structures in their inability to work for us anymore, these structures are crumbling. It's not so much about, well, I like this and you don't. We're at a stage where we're asking, does it work? Is it building us, or is it contributing to further decay and demise? So this is a time where we are needing to be willing to look at everything, to question, to ask, am I going along with this because it's what I've always been told? Or is it because I genuinely believe in it? And taking a pause and really asking ourselves those kind of questions. And as we reevaluate and dig deep, as we spend time in the fish's belly at the bottom of the ocean or the wilderness, shedding what no longer belongs in our lives as the person that we've become, we might find that life gets smaller externally, but more spacious internally. When we think of being delivered out of a prison into a spacious place, we tend to think of, being moved from, I don't like this group of people and I like this group of people a little bit better. Okay, I'll go there. But the most important rescue or deliverance is from the prisons of our own mind that keep us in smallness. What maybe we thought was truth years ago, we now realize, oh my goodness, it's actually like a cult. It is the prisons of our mind that keep us in smallness. So the most important spaciousness is the one that we discover within. We remember that the collar, the shackle, the dog collar, the electric collar that has jolted us and shocked us because we have dared to roam beyond our handler's invisible electric fence. The truth is, it doesn't really exist. It's an illusion. And we only stay caged because we believe that that's our place and that freedom isn't available to us. So we are reevaluating, we're testing boundaries, we're asking questions, and we must ask questions to get to the new solutions for what so far is not working. And we may need to be prepared that there will be what I call a Plutonian wrecking ball, and there's going to be an upheaval in this transition of discovery, of experimentation, and the implementation of new ideas, new possibilities. So, in accordance with this, I believe another key message for the coming months is this: less is more. Simplify. Allow a minimalistic lifestyle to yield a maximum focus toward that which we really want to build. This is going to take a conscious effort, and I don't mean in terms of toil, sweat. A lot of this is an energetic effort, but a conscious intention toward building a new world. Each of us doing our legitimate part. I believe there's going to be a need for a refining of energetic investments, a refining of time management, so that we can yield beautiful fruit that we ourselves want to eat out of integrity, out of alignment and resonance within ourselves. When we speak of righteousness, seek first the kingdom of God, which is righteousness, peace, and joy, and all other things will be added to you. This word righteousness at its core, the nuts and bolts of it, is talking about relational integrity. Integrity being the quality of being honest, the state of being whole and undivided. So relational integrity with others and with the world outside of us starts with integrity within ourselves. It starts with not being a house divided against ourselves. It starts with our own congruence. It starts with our own honesty and our willingness to see ourselves as whole in the truth of who we are in our design. To thine own self be true. Be true to who you are, and within yourself be honest. Don't be self-deceptive. The only toxic relationship that we really have is the one we have with ourselves, and all other toxicity really springs forth from that misalignment, that lack of relational integrity within. So we are refining, we are taking off the masks, we are embracing and accepting ourselves in the truth of our authentic design, and perhaps even allowing a slate, the table, to be wiped clean, and establishing the centerpiece of true identity. And not having done that, putting everything back on the table that we've just swept away, but actually leaving space on the table of our life for the new that is coming in, the new that we haven't fathomed or figured out yet, or don't even know what it looks like. Many have felt stuck and in a I don't know anything and not knowing. And I want to say, if you're there, congratulations. This is possible, possibly indicating that you are successfully exiting old paradigms that are crumbling. You got the memo and you've started on your journey, and it is like a no man's land. But I want to encourage us that my sense is strongly that what's been stuck is about to get unstuck. And though it might be a gradual breaking free, catalyzed by shocks, a kind of ready or not, change is here, and kicks up the booty, what's been unknown is going to be kissed with clarity in the not too distant future. And preparing for this, it's best that we don't cling to what is being prized out of our fingers. It is better that we surrender to the no man's land, the not knowing. Because part of the building process that we will be experiencing as we move into 2022 is going to be experimentation and innovation. Experimentation and innovation. So it's better that we don't have too much of the old around us, or we're going to be tempted to just rework the same Rubik's Cube and put another new patch on an old garment. Let us allow a space for new to come in, for experimentation to uncover and lead us into solutions for which we are now posing questions. I believe key questions are going to include this. Does it work? Is it working? Is this life working for me? Is this a life where I am prostituting my own soul, selling myself short, living far below the sense of connectedness and alignment that I could be experiencing? And again, it's not about the much. It's about loving the little, the less, that actually becomes more because it's truly aligned to the person that we are, and it is in the category of what matters to me most. It's those values that we are beginning to redefine and make the building blocks for our life going forward. Does what I'm doing, what I'm involved in, meet my core needs? What are my core needs? This is a very important question. We must be willing to acknowledge our core needs. This is going to take honesty. This is going to take knowing and honoring our very unique wiring, our own personal central nervous system, the story even that brought us to the place that we're at. If we struggle, if we slip into depression when we open ourselves to too much vulnerability or a lack of safety or apparent lack of safety, is this good for us or is this detrimental? For each and every person, it's going to be slightly different. Again, it's not going to be that one size fits all slip cover over the sofa in a color and a fabric we don't even like. We're learning to realize we can release these obligation contracts, not only with people, but with the person we thought we were or have assumed ourselves to be. We're becoming conscious of those core needs, physical needs, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the home that we live in, the basic Maslow's hierarchy of basic needs, foundational structure. Do we have those in place? And how can we work to get those basic needs in place so that we can move up that pyramid and bring into our life a true sense of belonging, true cognitive expansion, and true self-actualization as a result of standing on true foundational, fundamental, need-meeting ground. We really are returning to the basics. We're becoming conscious of our sexual needs, willing to look below the surface. Is it just a means to meet an end, or is it actually affection, touch, emotional intimacy and connection that we are seeking the most and settling for something far less? with our physiology and our being intricately connected with our soul's wiring, one of the key themes of this time is releasing shame. Ashamed in Hebrew includes the ideas of barrenness and dryness. Little can flourish or become fertile in the soil of shame and self-imposed guilt. So in this, there is an essential turning over of the tables of religious toxicity that is still being held in our cellular memory, whether we adhere to religion or have been part of it or not. It has been handed down to us in our cellular memory, and there is a turning over, an uprising of essential identity, power to the people. Another question that we might want to ask ourselves at this time is, why do I do what I do? Is my why, my vocational why, my relational why, is it born of authenticity and passion connected with my design, or does it emanate from fear? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to live a good life? These are questions that we are returning to. What does it mean to live in my body? Do I understand what my body's intelligence is, and how do I honor it? If I am to be in the earth, but not of it, meaning under its external domination, what does that look like to me? How do I walk in my autonomy and sovereignty? And on what foundation do I want to build the temple that I am, to house and anchor the divine into the earth? This anchoring of the divine, this making a safe place for conception and creativity, is the honoring of the sacred feminine. This nurturing of a structure for creativity that is true, that is safe, that is congruent. And in order to do all of these things, we must come home. We must come home to who we are. We must come home to Mother, to the arms that hold us, to the everlasting arms that will never let us go. This is something that we have not been truly connected with a patriarchal, primarily only understanding of God, of source, of spirit. But we're coming home to the feminine principle. And in this, we will begin to nurture our senses, our sensibilities, our permission to create a life that we love. We might ask ourselves, what am I building? How am I building? Why am I building what I am building? And a key question, I believe, for this coming new year, 2022, how am I exchanging resources? Am I really bringing the resources, the innate gifts that I love to handle and touch and work with into the earth? And can I find a new and more supportive way to exchange resources? We are looking towards a revolution on many levels. Agricultural, financial, how we show up in the world, what our idea of a good life actually is. Perhaps discovering that less is more, and there are things beneath the surface that are driving certain actions when it's really not about what it is that we think we need to accomplish to begin with. It's actually something much more touch, close, heart connected. So innovators, scientists, creators, all are needed. Find your expertise. Become confident in your ability to bring your gifts to the table with an exchange of resources that might not look anything like old paradigms. Let's be ready for that to be a little chaotic to begin with. It will take some experimentation, and it will take courageous ones willing to step up to make this work, not just for themselves, but for generations to come. Part of our experimentation will involve invention. Necessity is the mother of invention, and I believe we are there. It's also going to involve energetic creation, vibrational creation, creativity, not solely grit and hustle, as we know that is not sustainable. We see with sickness abounding that we can measure the results of the hustle and grind lifestyle. And it is time to step back and take a new look. I believe that one of the key things that we are being called to at this time is a big picture view. To regularly zoom out and get a bird's eye view of the bigger picture. Zoomed in might be, I am so pressurized, backed into a corner, I am so uncomfortable, I hate all these endless challenges and discomforts. But the zoomed out big picture might be a realization that, wow, the entire planet, all humanity is actually shifting from one level of consciousness to another. Everything we're experiencing microcosmically as individuals is being experienced at large in some way or another, and each of us is actually playing a vital role in an evolutionary shift of ages. Zoomed in might be, I don't like this pain, when can we go back to normal? But zoomed out might be, well, I signed up to be a catalytic agitator, an awakening dream team member. I am in the right place at the right time, doing what I came here to do, and I'm aligning and preparing to hit the throttle to do my part to help humanity bust through into new realms of consciousness that actually serve us and build us instead of demean us and hurt us. And somehow remembering and seeing that big picture helps to take the edge off of our tunnel vision personal pain. In a few more years, I believe we're going to, at large, become much more aware of our connection to one another. And though we might feel alone right now, it could be because humanity as a whole has never really done this. Done what? Shifted from an every man for themselves survival mindset to a oneness, collaborative mindset that is aware that the cultivation of Gaia herself is crucial, not only to our surviving, but to our thriving. A new energetic grid is being wired in, first to us individually, and then as a result collectively. And for centuries we have been unable to see each other in the spirit, by spirit, and this is changing. I believe that in the next decades we will see differently according to the light beings that we are. Transfiguration is taking place, and we will have no choice but to recognize ourselves and those around us connected to us as transfigured souls as the light beings that we are. And as a result, the competitive, survival, dog-eat-dog mentalities will soften, and organic enterprises will flourish, collaborations. For some of us, that's going to feel like crazy, like we're going to battle with a scepter and a plowshare wrapped in velvet dripping in honey. And this is part of the new way. The prophets of old ate wild honey. The prophets of today are wild honey. Their words have an energetic quality that feels like honey, honeycomb to the lips, to the soul. They carry the milk of the mother in their breasts, in their abundant wealth, treasure chests, to restore health to emaciated children who have been forced into slave labor to make more bricks with less straw. We are remembering that the earth is given to the sons of men. It is our responsibility. This is our call. We are the extension of Source Creator in earth suits, revealed to ourselves now as the sons that we are, and now also to the planet for its deliverance from slavery to corruption. We're becoming more increasingly aware of the illumination, the enlightenment, the enlightening that all of us are experiencing, every single one of us on some level, regarding the partnership of the mystery, Christ in us as us, and the management of household affairs by the godsons in their earth suits, making known the manifold wisdom of God, the multifaceted wisdom of God. Do you realize how significant your presence is? Are you aware of how incredibly important your desires, your journey, your presence is? Do you know how important this refining and reevaluation process, the detaching from the program and the return to the simplicity, the singleness, really is at this time? We are in a full earth detox. And as we take courage in our individual journeys, energies that are being lifted out of us as we do this difficult soul work is literally being expired and lifted from our planet. There is a weight of glory being produced, a weight of what? Dignity, worth, and honor being produced in humanity. And the momentary light afflictions, though they don't feel so light sometimes, are producing on a mass collective scale. Take courage, zoom out, see the big picture. We are grounding new light codes into our bodies, into the earth. We are recognizing the importance of the planet herself. We are realizing it is overwhelmingly way too much for any one of us to bring about the shifts and changes individually, but we're recognizing, we're opening, we're understanding. There's going to be an increased opening to the realms, the Uranos, the realms that are available to us where there is power being anchored in, that has been obscured from our view up until the time we were ready for it. And there's this grounding of heaven into earth, of the divine into the earth, happening through new structures of every kind. So we are putting our hands to a new kind of plow and not looking back. It's a build your own, grow your own, be your own world that we are beginning to create. And it will take our intentional focus to build it. This is why some people are being relocated. It is for the big picture purpose of an energetic reset. Get us on the right train, working with the right people. Even as I'm sharing this, there's a sense that if you desire it in the days to come, if you're open to it, there will be some deep soul recall, recollections taking place. Things that eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor even arisen up, ascended up in our hearts of things that have been prepared for us. Something perhaps deep memories, soul memories that we're carrying within that are ready to break open from their shell. Just breathe that possibility in and knock on that door if you want to move through those portals into deeper insight, opening within you an expanded mystical awareness, a tuning in, a hearing and a seeing with greater depth and clarity, antenna primed, poised, lifted for those sounds, those transmissions that have not yet been heard. Galactic in nature, I think. Well, in summary, if we can both hold our own individual timelines, optimum timelines and vibrations, our self-preservation, the awareness of our own needs, whilst at the same time holding space for this broader picture of awareness that we're all part of, I believe that we will be able to confidently step into the unknown with courage and substantial sense of purpose. We may not have a clue about what we're doing, but there will be a sense of substantial purpose even in the work of putting one foot in front of the other, walking by faith and not by sight. And I hope that encourages you. I hope that puts strength into your bones today and causes you to sit up a little taller with strength in the simple awareness that just being here is magnificent in and of itself. I wish you the very best at this end of what has been for many a very difficult and challenging year. Take a minute to consider how far you've come, how much you've grown, how much light you now carry, how much of that darkness that was once part of you, within you, has now been transmuted into glorious light within your sonship. And go confidently forward into this new year. I believe as we set our sights in such a way, I don't want to say positive thinking, but certainly really taking up a sense of empowerment for the life that we want to create and the life that we want to create for humanity. I believe that we will see literally miracles unfolding, things being brought together in alignment, stuck things being unstuck, clarity breaking forth like a new dawn. That will really encourage us. It won't be an easy couple of years ahead. There will be chaos, there will perhaps be turmoil, but we will have the fortitude to see it through when we recognize the magnificent part that each of us are playing. Be encouraged. Share this out. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again very soon.